My Lord Mayor, I believe everyone present in this guild hall will join me in saying, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for the summit. Thank you for your presidency. Thank you for your testament of belief. And God bless America.
Tonight, with a full heart and deep gratitude for your trust, I accept your nomination for the presidency of the United States.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
We said we intended to reduce interest rates and inflation, and we have. We said we would reduce taxes to get our economy moving again, and we have. We said we would once again be respected throughout the world, and we are.
We said we would restore our ability to protect our freedom on land, sea, and in the air, and we have.
We came together in a national crusade to make America great again and to make a new beginning. It's hard to believe it's been almost 8 years since we first came here. It was a springtime of hope for America, and our best days were yet to come. We had a big job to do, but fortunately, we had the people to do it. Talented, dedicated people from all walks of life who gave up so much to come here and serve. Back then, inflation and high taxes were the biggest culprits. Tackling them head-on was one of our first priorities, and we went at it tooth and nail and brought them down, and we've kept them down. That wasn't wishful thinking, and it did become reality. Since January of '81, the prime rate has been pared by 60%. Mortgage interest rates have come down some 8.4 percentage points since their peak. Now that made home ownership possible for many millions more American households. And the same goes for automobiles, too. Lower loan rates have made cars a lot more affordable for a lot more people. Still, it is good to see people buying homes and cars again, to see America's automobile industry regaining its strength and taking a backseat to no one.
I once was lost, but now am found.
When I think of our men and women in uniform, I recall our trip to South Korea. I was so proud to hear not grumbling or I want to go home, but the spirit with which they carried out their duties there. They're on the frontiers of freedom, and I've never seen such morale, such esprit de corps.
It looks good.
Such pride in their work.
Sir, my name is Private First Class Bruner. I'm from Malibu, California, and I've been in Korea 7 months, sir.
California.
Yes, sir.
Well, proud to know you.
Proud to know you too, sir.
I don't know of anything I'm more proud of than those young men and women in uniform today that I see so many times visiting the bases or out on a warship. They are very remarkable. And I will now read the citation. Most of us talk about kindness and compassion, but Mother Teresa, the saint of the gutters, lives it. Anyone who's ever been in this job takes with him so many memories. Memories of the good times, moments that bring a smile, moments that bring you to tears. As president, you share in those moments of triumph. And then there are moments you never erase from your memory, ever. I didn't know I was shot. In fact, I was still asking, what was that noise? I thought it was firecrackers. And the next thing I knew, Jerry at Secret Service had simply grabbed me here and threw me into the car, and then he dived in on top of me. And it was only then that I felt a paralyzing pain, and I learned that the bullet had hit me up here. When I walked in, they were just concluding a meeting in the hospital of all the doctors associated with the hospital. True, when I saw all those doctors around me, too, I said, I hope they were all Republicans. God must have been sitting on my shoulder. Whatever time I've got left, it now belongs to someone else. One can't set foot in the Far East without realizing there's a great opportunity for us out there. I found that our Asian neighbors are an industrious, talented, and energetic people who know so well the difference between oppression and freedom. They're determined to improve their countries and their lives. We have a very good relationship with these people, a relationship we should cultivate and build on. We stand on a lonely, windswept point on the northern shore of France. But 40 years ago at this moment, the air was dense with smoke and the cries of men, and the air was filled with the crack of rifle fire and the roar of cannon. Here in Normandy, the rescue began. At dawn on the morning of the 6th of June, 1944. 62 of the Rangers who scaled the cliffs there at Pointe du Hoc, now back 40 years later to the scene of their heroic action. These are the boys of Pointe du Hoc. These are the men who took the cliffs. It was a very moving experience. They were what General Marshall called our secret weapon, the best damn kids in the world. Where do we find them? Where do we find such men? And the answer came almost as quickly as I'd asked the question. Where we've always found them in this country. On the farms, the shops, the stores, and the offices. They just are the product of the freest society the world has ever known. Someday, Liz, I'll go back, said Private First Class Peter Robert Zanetta of the 37th Engineer Combat Battalion and 1st Assault Wave to hit Omaha Beach. Lisa Zanetta Hen began her story by quoting her father, who promised that he would return to Normandy. She ended with a promise to her father, who died 8 years ago of cancer. I'm going there, Dad. And I'll see the beaches and the barricades and the monuments. I'll see the graves, and I'll put flowers there just like you wanted to do. I'll feel all the things you made me feel through your stories and your eyes. I'll never forget what you went through, Dad, nor will I let anyone else forget. And Dad, I'll always be proud. Through the words of his loving daughter, who is here with us today, a D-Day veteran has shown us the meaning of this day far better than any president can. It is enough for us to say about Private Zanetta and all the men of honor and courage who fought beside him 4 decades ago. We will always remember. We will always be proud. We will always be prepared, so we may be always free. Thank you. I believe in look to the hills from whence cometh my strength. Before I reached my decision to run for re-election, some people thought that maybe I'd be happy to retire to that beautiful ranch outside Santa Barbara and spend the rest of my life enjoying the simple things. Riding horses, chopping wood, spending time with Nancy, being outdoors and close to all of God's natural gifts.
But they forgot there were so many things yet to be done.
All right, I'm willing if you are. I have been so thrilled and excited to see the turnout of young people at meetings of this kind.
You forgive me. I'm gonna do it just one more time. You ain't seen nothing yet. God bless you. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
I just had that great looking forward feeling of, well, I guess it was like being ahead 14-0 at the end of the first half, and now you're coming out for the second half. Who will ever forget the great ceremony for the lady? I've told Nancy that she's the other woman in my life. She is a beautiful lady. It's not just what she stands for. And that great statue, when you see it up that close, is so very feminine. When those lights came on and she was finally lighted up, it was a very thrilling moment.
4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
We never had a tragedy like this. We mourned 7 heroes. They were daring and brave, and they had that special spirit that said, give me a challenge and I'll meet it with joy. They served all of us. They were pioneers. We will never forget them, or the last time we saw them, as they slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. One of my predecessors, President Franklin Roosevelt, once said, history cannot be rewritten by wishful thinking. My meetings with General Secretary Gorbachev were in that spirit, open and straightforward. I told him, we don't mistrust each other because of these weapons we have and because we're armed this way. We're armed this way because we mistrust each other. And if you and I can eliminate the reasons for this mistrust, that other part, the arms, will take care of themselves. This is the signing of the INF Treaty. It means that for the first time, the Soviet Union agreed to destroy weapons they already had. And this is the total elimination of a whole weapons system. And as I say, they have never before agreed to destroy something they had already built. 6 months later in Moscow, it all culminated in the ratification of the treaty itself. And this ancient city of pinnacles and spires seemed to come alive with optimism and hope. On June 1st at 8:20 a.m. Greenwich time, the era of nuclear arms reductions had finally begun. And for the first time, I thought we could actually look forward to a future not clouded by the threat of nuclear war. To the General Secretary, to Mrs. Gorbachev, to the relationship that I believe must continue. It was a memorable trip. Nancy and I were so grateful to the people of the Soviet Union for making us feel welcome. Grateful for their waves and smiles. We'll always remember their faces, the faces of hope. Hope for a new era in human history. I believe that mankind is the biggest winner. As different as our countries are, there's a great bond that draws the American and Soviet peoples together. It's the common dream of peace. Oh, yes. Camp Ronald McDonald, a shining example of private sector initiatives at work. Private sector initiatives are teaching children, helping the poor, and searching for ways to cure disease. And Camp Good Times is living proof that when you leave charity in the hands of the private sector, there's no limit to what it can do. It's the free enterprise system at its best. This was the State of the Union Address, 1988.
This is the conference report. 1,053 pages report weighing 14 pounds.
I wanted to dramatize to Congress and the nation what an uphill battle it is to get a budget approved.
A reconciliation bill.
43 states have something the federal government refuses to give the president, and that is the line item veto. And there's always going to be a lot of pork in a budget unless we get this. And we haven't achieved it, and that's what I think I'm going to be on the outside, I guess, making speeches and campaigning for things like this, urging the people, because if the people make enough noise, Congress will respond.
Congress shouldn't send another one of these. No, and if you do, I will not sign it.
By golly, I think I got my message across. And something else made that evening special.
The war against drugs is a war of individual battles, a crusade with many heroes, including America's young people, and also someone very special to me. She has helped so many of our young people to say no to drugs. Nancy, much credit belongs to you, and I want to express to you your husband's pride and your country's thanks.
One of the great days was welcoming Nancy home from the hospital. She's an inspiration to me, the way she always keeps her chin up. And yes, always bounces back, no matter what. Everywhere we go, Nancy makes the world a little better. To see her with heads of state, people of other nations, she represents her country very proudly, and she represents it well. And she makes friends wherever she goes. I can't imagine life without her. The longer I'm here, the more I feel it. You don't become president. The presidency is an institution, and you have temporary custody of it. But I think we did more than just pass through. It wasn't just an interval. We made a difference. It was a new beginning. We got America moving again. We made headway in getting government off the backs of the people.
Morning, Phil.
We breathed new life into our economy and put more people to work than ever before in history. We rebuilt our military strength and brought the world a little closer together in peace. But above all, more than anything else, we got America to stand tall again. And you know, I'd like to think that maybe that's the thing I'm proudest of.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt